Let's take a little tour of my outdoor succulents and cactuses. They're all in the front of the house. On the front porch, I've had to do some rearranging of things because of the cat's very destructive behavior um, with the plants in the pots, and I'm still working on trying to prevent that because it is creating problems with the growth of my plants and the health of my plants. So let's check it out. We'll start out here with the cactuses in front of the house. A lot of them got really damaged in the frost and all that, but they pretty much managed to come back actually better than ever. I have some big grow bags at the top of the hill here where I think I'm going to be transferring some of them because they have just outgrown their space. This area outside the house, right to the side of the porch, has like a little greenhouse, whatever, that I used this winter to put some plants in, but I think I'm going to change my strategy. I have some things here that are growing pretty well, and I'm just going to have to figure out a different way to do stuff. This is a red geranium. The light's kind of affecting it, but I love geraniums. I'm looking forward to transplanting it and to also taking cuttings. I have some nice succulents here, which are thriving in the shade, and some strawberries from years before, which are just hanging out, seem to be doing well here. I have a wisteria, which every year it grows, it's starting to wrap itself around the rail here, which is something I would like to avoid. I don't want it wrapping itself around any part of the house, but that's where we're at, I guess. I planted some marigold seeds a few weeks ago and just watered them. I pulled this little window box or whatever was out in another part of the garden, and everything seems to be growing great. These seeds were from Dollar Tree a few years ago. I have this cool looking watering can. I got it at the dump store and had a hole in the bottom, so I knew I'd use it for planting. Same time I planted those marigolds, I also planted some nasturtium. They're growing a little bit slower, but if they do well this year, I'm going to plant them a little earlier next year. Here at the front, some cactuses, which are kind of stalled. I'm not sure why. They're in a good place for them, but I have a bunch of smaller ones here also in front of the porch to the side of the steps. This one was attacked by the cat, I believe. The cat has been so destructive with my plant. So one leaf remains, so I surrounded it with rocks so the cat can't get on there. This agave almost was done in by the frost and the rain. It had like one little leaf left, so I've been kind of nursing it along, and it seems to be coming back. The rest of them are just large and small versions. I'm trying to avoid having the cat walk on these and walk on the shelves, which he has done. So here I don't know if you can see behind this, I've put some fencing material so he can't get through to the other plants. It's been very aggravating. There's been a lot of damage done. Here's a pink geranium. I think I picked that someplace up a branch. I broke a branch off and rooted it. On this side of the front steps, some more plants. They're kind of randomly growing. This aloe vera is from Home Depot. It's doing real well. I gave a piece of it to a friend of mine, so she's going to start her own. And this is some sort of aloe, but not medicinal. I'm going to have to take this aloe in, though, over the winter. I've had aloes before outside or in places that were sort of semi-sheltered, and they did not do well. So I'm just going to have to figure that this is going to overwinter in my house. Some others, including some old strawberries and some other plants, succulents and the like, which are still recovering from the frost and from the rain. This one's doing really well. The one in the back is slowly coming back. I was away for about a week and a half, and I had to do a major rearranging of my plants here. To make it easier for the person who was watering them, I had them on the shelves and then also on the ground, but the cat was walking and climbing as he's destroyed my strawberries and just has been very destructive. So I've lifted the stuff off the ground as much as I could and kind of done some defensive mechanisms here. I didn't have any more of that high fencing, but I had some low fencing, which is kind of helping, but he can't walk through here anymore. And this is too high, and this is really too high. So we've got that under control. We have these plants doing pretty well. He hasn't seemed to have made any inroads here. In an attempt to keep him from laying down on some of these plants, I put some different china things, and I put a frog someplace. Here's the frog, and I have a butterfly here who was laying right in that spot where the butterfly is, but cat doesn't seem to care too much. He's avoiding them now, but I saw him laying around and on top of those items, so I'm really kind of at a loss outside of moving things around and trying to keep things as difficult as possible for him to climb and sit on. That's probably the best I can do. This is an old shoe shelf storage unit. It was broken up in half with the two shelves over here and the two shelves over under the window, but that again also didn't work with the cat. So I put them together and have all four stacked up, and I have some cactuses here and some planters and some wreaths and things like that at the bottom. I thought I'd have to buy another rack here to put the rest of the plants, but I didn't have to. I actually had this in the back room, and I did some consolidation and some throwing away, and I brought this plastic one out, which is working out fine. It's also giving me a little privacy to the living room, so you don't see straight through when you come to the door. I have some boxes here. I have some friends coming over on Saturday who are both plant lovers, so I'm going to be pulling some plants out and giving them to them. I also had another friend I gave some plants to. Some of them I know are not going to survive the frost, so I might as well give them to people who have a better place to store them during the winter. That said, in the interest of saving as much as I can and seeing what frost can do to, and snow and rain can do to all these plants, I'm going to be purchasing some frost cloth this year and just throwing it over the shelves. I had these plants down at the bottom of the hill under the deck, but I think if they're all closer to me, it'll be easier for me to monitor them. So any thoughts you have on what more I can do with this cat situation, I would appreciate hearing it. I love the cat, obviously, but I can't have this wholesale destruction. It's really crazy. So I'm continuing to defensively work my garden out and work my potted garden out, my cactus garden out. Here he is right now. Here he is. Here he is. Here's the Doom Master. And hopefully I can figure this out. So if you know anything to do that I haven't done so far, please let me know. I would deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.